The C8 Corvette ZR1 is a supercar killer. But what if I told you that dealerships holding them hostage will kill your wallet with super greed?
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
If you thought dial dealers were very bad with Hellcat, Red Eye, or Demon 170 markups during the last call era, these Chevy dealers are on a whole different level on the greed spectrum. And I'm going to show you some crazy examples of some of these ZR1s that are failing to sell at auction with over $150,000 of markups. This is wild. So we're going to talk about this right now.
Greed is right. Greed works.
Okay, I'm over 52,000 friends, and the 56% of you guys who watch these videos over and over and over again and not want to subscribe to the channel, help a butter out, help me get to this next echelon of 100,000 subscribers so I can finally feel as though I'm in the big boys club with TK's Garage and my friend OC Motivator. So make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, find that crazy little hype button around here somewhere. It's hiding somewhere, some kind of little purple goofy looking button that YouTube does. So make sure you guys help a butter out and let's get right into this video. Now, I am a very, very big fan of the C8 platform, right? See, my brother has a C8 Stingray, I have a C8 Z06, and now the big dog, which I particularly like and I would love to get, is a C8 ZR1. I would love to get one of those vehicles, but I mean, it's already a stretch to buy a $200,000 Chevy Corvette. It's an even bigger stretch that the dealers want to have basically another $100,000 added on top of it in order to actually take one home. And there's some of these guys who spent markup on them, regardless. I mean, I don't know how much money some of these guys spent, where it's $50,000, $100,000 over sticker and stuff, but you can see through some of these guys who are selling these ZR1s at auction, they are asking even crazier numbers, and people are bidding on these cars and they still aren't selling. So let's go and look at this article from GM Authority. You ain't getting a C8 ZR1 for less than $100,000 markup. And this article was just written a couple days ago or so, right? At this point, it seems inevitable that any hyped up new vehicle release will include a substantial vehicle markup.
Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit.
And that's essentially true. These dealers, I guess, are hurting so bad from all this EV nonsense because a lot of those vehicles, they can't even mark up and stuff, right? And a lot of people aren't even buying them. So anytime a performance vehicle comes across, especially one they know that people love, oh, they're gonna throw some dollar signs behind it and stuff. And honestly, this practice should be illegal. And honestly, with a high profile car like the ZR1, there should be like a approach that Ford did with an application process. Now, I would be pissed off if I didn't get chose during the application process and stuff, but it's a lot better alternative to have an application process where people apply to get the car compared to this thing that's going on right now, where a car gets released and these dealers can just throw any kind of dollar sign they want on it. And then somebody buys the car, let's say $50,000, $100,000 over sticker, and then they go in turn and try to sell it again, flip it for even more money over the money they already paid. So this practice is something that needs to be made illegal. You shouldn't be able to be the only way somebody can get a car, and then you have these gatekeepers basically mark the car up so the average person can't afford it. It's already not affordable for a $200,000 car, but I mean, for me, for example, I could buy it, but I can't afford to buy it at $100,000 over and stuff. But this is something that definitely needs to get looked at in the future.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has marked the upward surge of mankind.
Naturally, that includes new models from GM, despite the company's best efforts to curb the practice. We saw with the release of the C8 Stingray that had markups when it first came out, as well as the C8 Corvette Z06. I've seen that crap. I waited basically like a year and a half till the markups got under control. Not to mention other high-profile GM vehicles like the GMC Hummer EV. I never understood why that vehicle had markups on it. I guess because it was a Hummer at the end of the day. But I never understood why people spent all that extra money over sticker for the Hummer when everybody knows that the EVs are going to lose a ton of appreciation. But I just never got it. Now we're getting a better taste of markups applied to the C8 ZR1 And for the moment, at least, they're looking like there'll be at least 6 figures to the bottom line. Incredible. Multiple dealerships across the US are listing the C8 ZR1 well above stickers. For instance, a 2026 ZR1 convertible listed at Tom Bell Chevrolet carries MSRP of $220,000 and is posted for $340,000, a $120,000 markup. Similarly, Evergreen Chevrolet has a ZR1 listed for $322,000 despite an MSRP of $222,000. While Peltier Chevrolet Tyler, I guess that's the actual city is in, shows a 226 ZR1 and priced at $326,000. Like, this is freaking wild. I mean, this is basically like how the Demon 170s were, but I don't know if these ZR1s are gonna do the same thing that the Demon 170s doing, right? Because I think with Demon 170s, the prices crashing them because at the end of the day, they are really nothing but a $20,000 car with a $50,000 engine in, right? And then the not a ZR1, but the Demon 170 is not really a all-around usable car. So I think that's why the Demon 170 prices drop. But I don't see the ZR1 prices dropping because it seems with Chevys, they don't back down when it comes to having a markup on the vehicles. I mean, there's still ZR1s from 2019, the last time they made the ZR1. That's still well over $120,000 stuff that I've seen in because I was like, let me try to get like a C7 ZR1. Nope, still pricey as heck. I'll probably put an image up right here. But you can see these Chevy dudes, they are not playing when it comes to holding out for a long period of time for a markup on a car, right? That's a long time, over $200,000. And that is not just one or two of them, that is a bunch of them, like 6 years later. And a lot of them cars still ain't got rig yet, but what, 700 miles, 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles on them. Those cars are literally being held hostage from people who actually would enjoy them and stuff, right? So it's just crazy, just freaking wild.
And greed, you mark my words, will not only save Teldar paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA. Thank you very much.
But let's see, even private sellers and flippers are joining the frenzy. Asking prices are averaging over $100,000 over MSRP, according to GM authorities on the findings. And the trend isn't limited to retail showrooms either, with the 2026 ZR1 already appearing on Bring a Trailer. That just came out a few weeks ago, and it's already on Bring a Trailer, where bidding reached $333,000 before failing to meet the reserve. This is freaking wild. Historically, pricing for the C8 Corvette has followed a familiar curve. The C8 Stingray launched with markups that persisted for years, while the C8 Stingray was a similar story. Given the ZR1's positioning as a top shelf 1,000 horsepower supercar, it could be quite a while before examples approach MSRP, and especially if production is constrained or demand outpaces supply. And I don't see that happening. You will never, ever, ever, ever see one of these cars approach MSRP. I just gave you a clear example from 2019. They still got cars over $200,000. Over $200,000 from 6 years later. You will never see a ZR1 reach MSRP if you don't get it from the dealer. And I think that's just facts. You're never gonna see this, right? And even these guys who have these cars sitting and stuff, GM will void your Corvette ZR1's warranty if you flip. Think about selling a ZR1 within a year of purchase. Expect the buyer to hate you thanks to GM's gotcha. So GM basically told everybody, look, if you flip the ZR1, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay for it. You're basically gonna get no warranty. So this little document right here is basically just saying, for an E-rated Z06, you gotta sit on for 6 months or you lose your warranty. But for the ZR1, it is basically a 1-year retention policy. And honestly, that should be way longer. You should have to hold on to the car the entire warranty period. The only way you can get out of it if you sell the car back to like a actual Chevy dealership. But you should have to basically, the entire time that car has a warranty, you cannot do a resell on it. The only way you can do a resell on it if you sell it back to the dealership or you avoid a warranty. I mean, you have to go through drastic measures in order to get these cars basically be attainable by people who actually will drive it. Because I've had a ZR1, I would definitely drive it. But I'm gonna show you some greed. So I think the article is about this one right here, right? This is a 2026 ZR1 that was bid to $333,000 and failed to meet its bid. And so this car right here, let's see what the MSRP was. We'll scroll down to the pictures. Had to be low 200,000s because nobody really specs up a white ZR1. Yeah, so so $214,000. So it failed to meet a markup like $120,000, which is insane. This person right here, if they own a freaking dealership and stuff, of course they're gonna pay a markup on a car and then go sell the car again for additional markup and stuff, right? So it's like, yeah, you see all these signs back there, all these classic cars. I guarantee all these cars have huge markups on them and stuff. I saw one even worse, this one right here. Now this sucker right here was bid to $360,000. Let me see if I can zoom back in on this one. $360,000 this car was bid to, and it failed to sell at $360,000 markup, right? Freaking insane. So let me see, what was the MSRP in this? I think this one was like 210, 205, something like that. I don't think this was a very highly spec one. Yeah, this one was $205,000. So this car failed to sell, literally. So this was $205,000, and it failed to sell at $306. So that's what, $155,000 markup this car essentially failed to sell at, and that just insane. I mean, you would think, you know, $150,000 over sticker. You know what? I'll tolerate that. I can take it. I'll accept that. But no, these guys with these Chevy cars, their greed level is on a whole nother level and stuff, right? And I mean, I just don't get it, man. Like, I don't understand why guys are spending this much money on a ZR1. If you go and bid this car up over $100,000 over sticker and stuff, right? You're gonna lose your warranty as soon as you sign on the dotted line. So I'm going like, you're gonna buy a $300,000 car that's only worth $200,000, right? And then you're gonna have no warranty on all the periods. So now you gotta spend more money to go get some kind of insurance policy or some kind of warranty, whatever, to kind of help you out in case something breaks on it, right? I mean, they just had a situation where a bunch of these Z06s had stop sales because they was catching on fire. So imagine if the same problem from the Z06s happened on the Z01s and your Z01 catches on fire, you spent $330,000 and the insurance company only want to pay you about $200,000. You're out over $100,000 on this daggone car. It's just insane. Some of these people who have way more money than brains are spending this much money extra on a car, right? I mean, you can legit take a Z06. You know, you can get a top spec Z06. A top spec Z06 brought like $180,000, $190,000. If you basically throw everything at it, you go spend another $100,000 on that Z06 and go add in basically your own turbocharger kit or supercharger kit, whatever you want to do. You go to a speed shop, spend probably less than $100,000, upgrade that car, and it will smoke a ZR1. Night and day difference. Like, you can go do that, but these guys are spending this much money on these cars. And I mean, really the only way that Chevy can stop this is they have to basically build more of these high spec cars in order to put up so much supply that the demand is going to drop the prices down. That's really Chevy's fault. Because I made the other video the other day where I told you guys there are way too many Stingrays. Stingrays are dropping like flies in price and stuff. It wasn't until a few years later, right, the Z06 prices dropped down to a point to where now you can get Z06s about 10 grand off and stuff. And the only way these Z01s are ever going to drop prices down, they're going to build a ton of these Z01s, but they won't do it because, I mean, it's just crazy. They won't do it. They won't do it. Like, if they built like maybe 5,000 to 10,000 Z01s, that'll definitely drop the price down where people will actually go buy these suckers at MSRP or lower and stuff. But they won't build that many. Even though there won't be a constraint on the car, they won't build that many cars. Like, honestly, they should just stop making Stingrays and build out like 10, 20 Z01s at a time and just flood the market with Z01s. That'll stop this nonsense because the whole threat of getting rid of your warranty for like a year, that doesn't work. These dealers are going to still jack up prices and stuff, and the only way to stop it is to build more Z01s, not less. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Do you guys think that Dodge markups are bad, or Chevy markups on a whole nother level and stuff, right? And with all these new cars we hope is coming out from Dodge and these other companies, think Cuda, think Viper, I mean, think a Cobra Mustang. There's a ton of vehicles coming out that we hope will come out in the next couple of years, and it's going to have gas engines in them. Do you guys think that the markups are going to stay like this, or are they going to get even worse? Because people know that in the near future, these cars are going to get basically legislated out of existence. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And if you want to check out my C8 video that I made talking about how there's too many Stingrays and why that is, you can check out this video right here. And until the next time, I'm out.